Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So the last live stream we just did a little bit ago, we're going to do very similar now, but with CONY, C-O-N-Y, the YieldMax Coinbase ETF. We're going to look at some historical data on Coinbase stock. We're going to do more in-depth analysis, and we're going to review dividends we've gotten in the CONY fund, review the past performance, review how we're doing now, and hopefully come up with something as far as a 2024 outlook. Now, this is going to be very similar because both of these funds have performed very similarly to start out the year. Both of them really peaked out in December of last year and have fallen from there. Again, so there's going to be some similarities in the path to recovery for both as well. And it's going to depend, like I said in the last live stream, it's going to depend a lot on interest rates and when the Fed decides to start cutting interest rates. That's the real variable, of course. Okay, so let's go to Yahoo Finance, and I'm going to look at Coinbase stock first. I'm going to do the same kind of deep dive into the financials, and we'll go from there. So, all right, I've got that screen here. Let me just share it. And feel free to comment away with any questions, concerns, observations, feedback, whatever you got. Feel free to throw it at the coach. Okay, so we still got block up. We're going to look at the stock first, the underlying, before we look at the actual ETF. So Coinbase, for those of you that follow cryptocurrency, there's been several Bitcoin ETFs that came out recently. Bitcoin is expecting halving this year, which should be a big boost to the price of Bitcoin. And so because of that, there's a lot of, there's a crypto boom expected for the year 2024, which should impact Coinbase significantly because Coinbase is kind of like the exchange where a lot of crypto is traded on. I personally have an account with Coinbase. I use it. They haven't disappointed me so far. Very happy with them. So let's delve in. As of Friday, we were up $4.19 or 3.46%. In the life of the stock, so we went public, remember, in 2021 when we had the tail end of the clown market, and we shot up pretty quick. We got all the way up to, I thought it was actually higher, but we were up to 343, and we have fallen obviously significantly from there into 2022. We had fallen all the way to $50. We fell all the way to $35 last Christmas. So what's crazy, we could have actually, if any of us bought in at the beginning of last year, we could have like 4x'd by now based on where we are today, right? That's like 35 times 4 almost where we are today. That's a 4x basically. Almost. So, and we were up as far as 175 December 18th. Then we fell down from there. So we got some really good dividends. So CONY and SQY behaved very similar, actually. And I'm going to pinpoint back to actually Halloween of last year or around late October. We had like the Halloween lows. And from there, we just went on an absolute tear where this one basically doubled, gained $100 a share. Hence the great dividend we had. So when you see the run up like that and it's gradual, it's not like in a single day. When you see something like that, that's usually has us primed for a really good dividend in the underlying. Now, an example I can give, like when NVIDIA last year had the single biggest market cap appreciation in history, we didn't see the underlying, the NVDY, we didn't see that one go up as much because there was such a like single day movement in the price of NVIDIA. I feel like some people say NVIDIA and NVIDIA. It's almost like tomato, tomato. So anyway, Coinbase right now was running up, but we've got to look at the underlying fundamentals. Earnings are expected February 15th. Earnings per share was a negative 3.21. Right here, PE ratio is showing an NA. Market cap's almost 30 billion. So it's a smaller company based on market cap, smaller than SQY. But anyway, okay, so 2 of the last 4 quarters they've missed earnings. The other 2 they beat earnings. It's weird. It's showing quarter 2 2023. We can't be that far behind. But it's the next quarter's earnings that's going to come out. We're expecting February 15th nonetheless. Okay, so we have no comments so far. Feel free to stop me, comment away if you'd like to. By the way, oh, look who's on. Jonah Weingarten. Long time no see. Welcome. By the way, Andre's portfolio review is live. It's posted in the Discord and it's up now. So feel free to check that out. Thought that was a pretty good analysis there. Okay. So as far as Coinbase, we're going to look at the underlying and fundamentals and the balance sheets, the income statement, and the statement of cash flows. This is something I think we need to spend more time as investors actually looking at real data. So that's definitely what we're going to do. And eventually, I'm going to ramp up to the point where I actually break down what a stock should be fairly valued at based on its cash flow, etc. Okay, so for the income statement, we're still missing because we just ended 2023. So we've only got 2022. So we'll look at by quarter. Total revenue for Coinbase. And we could ask the same question that was asked in the last live stream. How do they make money? Well, they're like an exchange, basically. So, oh, Jonah says, Coney's my last large yield max position. Did you sell out of the other ones? Okay, so we really didn't fluctuate too much in terms of total revenue by quarter. 629,108 in terms of thousands, up to 772 March 31st, 708 June 30th, 674 September 30th. Cost of revenue peaked in June. Gross profits are here. Operating income was negative. This is a big, I would say, red flag. Operating income being negative. And let's see, other income, expense, net non-operating interest, pre-tax income, basic average shares. So we're not seeing, oh, this is a big one here. Total operating income as reported negative. That's a big negative number there. So there's definitely some red flags in this statement. EBIT and EBITDA are both projected negative here. This has a lot to do with this quarter here. We were positive in this quarter here where my mouse is. Reconciled depreciation, net income from continuing operations. So these financials, I would say, are actually very concerning. So it would take a big crypto boom to offset this and to get this company back on the right track for sure. Here's the balance sheet, which we won't focus on as much. This is just showing us total assets, liabilities, so on. You know, the basic accounting equation, assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity, or as they say, stockholders' equity. Common stock equity, capital lease obligations, tangible assets, working capital, and then ordinary share number. Tangible book value, a Warren Buffett favorite. Let's look at quarterly since we don't have 2023. Assets declined. Liabilities declined as well. So in the accounting terms, these two should add up. Liabilities and equity should equal assets. That's the basic accounting equation. Capitalization, common stock equity. So seen some fluctuations in these. Okay, now let's look at the most important, our statement of cash flows, and see how we're flowing. Okay, and again, we're going to go quarterly because we don't have 2023 yet. So let's go there. By the way, just for those keeping track at home, the Russell 2000 is still not 2000, not yet anyway, but we're still expecting, similar to with cryptocurrency, we're still expecting a big year. Okay, so some concerning things on the cash flow statement. If I can get Yahoo to cooperate with me and go quarterly here. Actually, okay, so we had a pretty good free cash flow at the end of 2022. Quarter 1 was positive, Quarter 2 was less positive, and Quarter 3 was more positive than Quarter 2, but less positive than Quarter 1. Trailing 12 months not looking too good. They're repaying debt. I think with some of these, maybe inflation could be cutting into some of the bottom lines here. I haven't heard that talked about too much. Of course, I don't think we'll hear much about inflation this year for obvious reasons. It'll be like it never existed. Although you can go around and find a lot of stuff doubled in the last 3 years, but that's just, whatever. Okay, so capital expenditure and cash position. Financing cash flows were very negative. Cash flow from continuing financing. Here's the breakdown here. Other financing charges, net issuance payments. So you can see some details there. So definitely some concerning red flags in the financials for Coinbase. So if we do have the big year for crypto, that would be a plus. That could help them get their ship in order, so to speak. And if we have a good year as far as the Fed cutting interest rates, that could bode well, of course, for the market as a whole and for a lot of these stocks. They could take off again like they did maybe in 2020 and 2021. Papa Powell is set to speak on Wednesday. And also Friday, we're going to be getting our unemployment number for the month of January, our first one of the year already. First month of the year is almost in the books. Time is flying when we have fun, right? Even when we don't have fun, it flies. Okay, I want to go back to Coinbase really quick. Let's just try to, what we did in the last video, estimate some kind of a dividend. Okay, let me just check comments. If we get a big backlog. Okay, we got Sean on again. We'll read your comments in a second here. Okay, if we look at year to date, which is also going to be the month basically, we've been declining. So I'm not expecting a really huge dividend in Coinbase. Now let's go to the underlying and we'll check this out. Okay, so CONY, the Yield Max Coin Option Income Strategy ETF, we were up 66 cents or 3.44% to $19.85. But you're going to notice we've fallen from where we were. We were at over $30 on Christmas Day, and it was kind of downhill. It was like a roller coaster ride downhill from there. We've been public in this one since August 14th. The good news with this one, unlike Tesla, which Sean was just commenting on there, this one isn't failing us like Tesla because we're still positive. If you invested from inception, we're still positive, which the same can't be said for Tesla. But as far as this one, if you had gotten in August 14th, you would have made a $10 gain by December 25th. So the run-up we saw here, which we just noticed also, kind of mirrors what we saw with the Coinbase stock itself. We went, from the Halloween lows, 18.19, all the way to 28.89. And so that harvested us some pretty good dividends. But obviously, on this month, we got to contend with this. So that would be the closest thing we had was in the month of September where we dropped. We were here, and then we ended the month here. So we only lost $2 here as opposed to $10. But I'm not expecting too good of a dividend, and we're already down 25% for the year. So, but still, if you had bought in at inception, you would still be in the black. So that's good news. Let's review over our dividends here again. By the way, another video is going to be coming probably during the day about the YMAG. I believe the YMAG is finally out, and it may be public this week. I'll have to check again. If it is, I'll definitely do a video on it. Okay, so as far as dividends, historical prices, dividends, and okay, so the dividend for September wasn't all that bad actually, even though we saw a drop. We were still at 121, then 107 or 108 on November 8th. And then they just got better and better in December and January. These were just phenomenal dividends. $2.46 a share in December, $2.69 a share in January. I mean, these were phenomenal. And like I said, if Coinbase has a run up again, I mean, we could do really well in these. Right now, I would think that's closer to a low point than a high point. So we could be at a buying point. I mean, I've already bought what I'm going to buy. Thankfully, the Schwab situation that I had, waiting 4 days for the funds to clear, worked in my favor. And I bought in relatively low. Let me actually look at that again real quick. Let's go back to Coney again really quick here. And we'll look at this one. Let's see. Okay, so I bought in like the first week of the year, or just after the first week of the year. Did a little funny video standing outside where I was kind of complaining about Schwab, but really in the long run it actually worked out. They made me wait till my funds cleared to be able to buy, and it ended up kind of working out. So if we look at, okay, from here, so I got some with my dividend from Tesla, bought in a little too high here, but then this one's actually dropped more. I want to say from the time I actually had bought in, we dropped again another $3 and change. So that's kind of unfortunate, but hopefully we can recover in it. Now let's go do some comments here. And then, like I said, I've got a lot of videos planned on the docket. We just got to get them out. Okay. So yeah, there's Jonah. Coney's my last large yield max position, but I'm going to put my Coney dividends into YMAX, JEPQ, and SVOL. That's a great plan. I actually want to buy back into all of those as well, including yield YMAX. I haven't bought YMAX yet, but I definitely want to. I may actually do the same thing you're talking about. Yeah, I got rid of Tesla. Still have some SQY and IWMY. Well, hopefully your losses weren't too bad in Tesla. I wonder what price you got rid of on that. Sean Shively says FBTC and Bitcoin. Bought a small amount of both. Good for you. Thumbs up for you. Let's see. Yes, I like JEPQ and SVOL. I have both. Yeah, you all know the story on that with me. I sold them to buy Tesla. Wish I would have kept them for sure. Tesla is failing me. I can't disagree with you. But it is a 77% dividend payout, right? For new investors, that may be, what they notice. Let's see. My NVDY is in the green. I bought 6 months ago, but I can see that coming down to earth. You think so? Well, do you think NVIDIA is overvalued? We can actually look at that on a future video. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I'm not going to go as long today. Definitely check out Andre's portfolio review if you haven't already. The three of us are actually on it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you hopefully during the day today, the 29th. Take care. Ciao, ciao.